Clarice, and welcome to my channel where I talk all things women, helping women, empowering women, and helping that woman who knows she's meant for more finally answer that call. So if that is something you're into, make sure to subscribe because I would love to have you as part of my community. So recently I decided to switch things up a little bit and ask viewers to send me questions, and then I would make a video answering them. So today's video is a bit real and raw. It's based on relationships and basically when to leave the relationship. So stick around to the end because it's going to be a pretty powerful video. Okay, so the first question I have is how do you really know when it's time to leave, and not just something you can work through? In all honesty, if you are asking this question, then it's time to leave. This particularly is a woman who asked this question, and if I can say this, men don't respond to words, they respond to actions. I had to learn that the hard way. So trying to sit down, talk it out, and work it out isn't going to work at the end of the day. You choosing yourself and choosing what's best for you is what's going to, if you want him to heal or change or work things out, you choosing yourself and pulling through with your actions is what's going to actually make the difference at the end of the day. Like, even if you are not yet in a relationship, maybe you're in a situationship, don't send those paragraphs. I promise you, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to cause a difference within them. If you have a sit down and talk to them, the only thing that's basically going to happen, it's going to go well, maybe for a day to a week, maybe even a month if you're lucky. But at the end of the day, you're just going to end up back to point A where you started, and then you're going to have to then you're going to want to have the talk again because, wow, it worked the previous time, it helped the previous time. But at the end of the day, the only thing you're doing is draining yourself. By always trying to fix things, by always trying to save things, by always trying to make things turn around, that pushes you into your unhealthy masculine energy, and that is what drains you at the end of the day. It is not your job to fix things, to save things, to want to turn things around, to make things better. The thing is, at the end of the day, what is meant for you will meet you halfway. You're not going to have to go the whole way for that. That is a very clear indication that that is not meant for you. So, yes, if you find yourself asking this question, should I stay, should I go, should I try and work things out? You already have your answer. It's just basically choosing yourself and getting into the mind shift of saying that what is meant for me will meet me halfway. If he is meant for me, he will put in the effort to make this relationship work. Yes, do that, turn things around and say but why am I the only one trying to make things work? Why am I the only one who wants to sit down and have a conversation? Why am I the only one seeing that there are problems in our relationship that's not working? Ask yourself that. If you are the only one seeing that, it means you are overstepping into your wounded masculine energy, and that's not meant for you, because what's meant for you will meet you halfway. He will meet you halfway. He would also see the problems in the relationship. He will also feel unhappy and unfulfilled and unsatisfied by the relationship or the relationship dynamic or what's going on in the relationship currently. So, yes, to answer this question, you already know the answer. Okay. Then question number 2 is, what are the first steps you should take when leaving a relationship? Okay. So, I was in a marriage where I was at this point in my life, where I also asked, should I stay, should I go, what should I do? Because I knew I wasn't happy, I knew I was drained, I knew I was depressed, and nothing I did worked. Nothing I said made a difference. And I came at a point where I basically I gave up. I gave up trying. I gave up putting my emotions on it. And I feel like that's when I started choosing me. And I feel like the first step you should do at the end of the day is choose you. What can work for this is, what I did was I created a vision basically for myself. So I got clear on myself with, what life do I want? What love do I want? Who do I want to be? And then I got clear on that vision. I got clear on how I feel like I deserve to feel. I got clear on what type of relationship I want and what partner I want in life. So, and yes, at that point, I didn't have any privacy, so I couldn't like write it down or create a vision board or anything, because I would have been called silly or whatever for doing anything like that. And yes, like I said, I didn't have any privacy, so what I did is I just felt the vision. I felt the way I want to feel, and that was my step. And that's what I kept choosing. I kept choosing the vision I had in mind of the life that I want at the end of the day. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. And I'm sure you're in the same position maybe where you feel like this is not going to be easy. And to be honest, it isn't going to be easy. But taking the steps, just take one step at a time. Take one day at a time. And from there, I feel like the bigger picture will fall into place eventually. It's not going to be an overnight fix. It's not going to be a quick out or a quick fix, or it's not going to happen overnight. There's no way it's going to happen overnight. But as long as you stay clear on your vision and choosing what you feel you deserve at the end of the day, your vision will start to manifest into daily life. It will start to come true. So yes, I would say that is your first step. Your first step starts with you. It starts with choosing you, being clear with yourself on what it is you want in life, how you want to feel, who you want to be with. If you can, journal it out. If you can't, like I couldn't, make sure that you basically imprint that feeling, especially feeling, you need to feel it into your body and into your mind, so that you can have a goal you need to work towards. That even if things get hard, you will stay on course, because you know what your goal feels like. You know what you deserve at the end of the day. So things are going to go wrong probably, and things aren't always going to be or happen the way you want them to happen, and that's okay, because you will be able to handle them better once you got clear on what it is you really want. So that's the first step I would take. Then the second step I would say is having the courage to actually do it. I feel like so many women stay stuck in a relationship where they know they deserve more or they want more, because they don't have the courage to leave. They fear the unknown. They want to stay in the familiar and what they do know. You know, rather the devil you know than the devil you don't. But I feel like if you've got courage and you let go your fears, that's a power move. At the end of the day, that's the step you're going to have to take. It's just being the woman of saying that I had the courage to choose me. I had the courage to choose the life that it is I want to live. I had the courage to choose a love that meets me halfway. I had the courage to choose what is meant for me and not settle because I'm scared, or I might, or this is all I know, or this is all I get. When you know you deserve more, and you will get more at the end of the day. So yeah. So the first step is like creating a vision for yourself, and then the second one is having the courage to actually do it, and then the third one is just it's doing it. It is realizing that, like I said before, it's not going to be easy, but I'm doing it anyway. It's really not something you physically do. It's more of getting clear on your emotions and your own state of mind and what it is you deserve at the end of the day. And knowing that you are worthy of more than what you're getting now. Yeah, I think that's basically it. It's just choosing yourself. So the next question is, how do you prepare yourself emotionally, mentally, and financially for life after leaving? Okay, so like I said, it's not going to be easy. When I decided to leave my marriage, which was very toxic and emotionally abusive at the end of the day, I turned into a person that I didn't like. And I kind of feel like that's when I knew that life is not working for me. I felt like the worst mother there is. I also started going into drinking, and I really became a person I didn't like. I was so depressed. I was extremely overweight, severely in my wounded masculine energy, because I was living this life that wasn't fulfilling me. And how do you prepare yourself emotionally, mentally, and financially? Emotionally, prepare yourself that it's not going to be easy. But I do not want you to suppress it. I do not want you to suppress your emotions at any stage. I want you to feel every emotion. Because the moment you suppress, it's going to start popping up in other ways. And you're anyway going to end up drained again. So emotionally, the only way to deal with it is by dealing with it. And feeling every emotion you're feeling. Feel the anger, feel the sadness, feel the grief, because it is going to be a grief. You've been with a person probably for a long time, and losing them is like somebody dying to you. Whether you deserve more or not, that is still going to create a void within you. So it's understanding that this is also going to be a grieving process. You are also going to be very angry. Like, I know the anger was real, but at the end of the day, you need to feel all your emotions, because emotions need to be felt to be released. That's part of the process of being aligned with your emotions and within yourself, is to feel every emotion so you can let it go at the end of the day. If you don't do that, if you don't feel your emotions and you do not let them go, it is like let's use a balloon as an example. All your emotions is basically the air of the balloon. No? So what you do is you press it underwater, which is suppression. And eventually, that balloon is still there. That balloon is still big. It's still taking up space. Eventually, something might happen, and that balloon is going to come to the top, because emotions need to be felt. But if you release them slowly and feel them as they come, you won't suppress anything, and you won't have this breakdown at one point. Yes, I feel like basically that's it. But also, what I don't want you to do is, I don't want you to create conflict because of your emotions. Especially when you get angry, you're gonna wanna fight. You're gonna wanna get this out. Get it out, but get it out on a journal. Or like an amazing thing I started doing, and I know everybody does this anyway, is using ChatGPT. Telling it how you feel, what's going on, and then, yes, expressing your emotions and feeling your emotions without giving that power away to somebody else. Because the moment you start to send those long messages to the other person, or you start to get into a confrontation or trying to tell them how you feel or what's bothering you, you are giving your power away. So instead of doing that, feel your emotions within yourself and let them go. Okay, so emotionally and mentally both, I think that both of those go together. And then financially is, well, I have to say that becoming a single mother for me wasn't easy. But I have found that nothing will ever happen to you that you can't handle. So you're gonna have financial stress, but if you look back, it's like everything worked out perfectly, because nothing will ever happen to you that you cannot handle. And I feel like the moment you start choosing yourself, everything else will start to fall into place. And I feel like you are going to push yourself into survival mode the moment you start to fear things. So the moment you start to fear, but how am I going to do this financially? You're going to push yourself into survival mode. And the best thing you can do for yourself, especially in such situations, is to get yourself out of survival mode. The more you're out of survival mode, the more you release fear, and the more you empower yourself at the end of the day. Survival mode is basically our fight, flight, freeze, and fawn responses. Yes. And that is what causes troubles at the end of the day in your life. So, and I also want to say, how do you prepare yourself emotionally and mentally for this after a breakup or after leaving, or life after leaving, is focusing on getting yourself out of survival mode. Because even in that relationship, while you're currently in it, you are in survival mode. Because you maybe fear of leaving, because you fear the unknown basically, and that is survival mode. That is your fear coming up. So I would say focus on getting yourself out of survival mode and regulating your nervous system. If you have a regulated nervous system and you live in a state of calm without fear, all the answers you need will automatically come to you. Okay. Then question number 4 is, how do you support your children and navigate the outside pressure, like his family's backlash? Okay, so I've got a story for this. Anyway, okay, let's start with the first part of the question is, how do you support your children? How do you support your children? Okay. How do you support your children? Yes. So I feel like this is going to sound a little bit selfish, but hear me out. Because at the end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to focus on yourself. You're going to have to focus on what makes you happy, how to get yourself out of survival mode, how to feel your emotions and let them go. And yes, basically choosing yourself. Because our children we all have mirror neurons, right? So once our children see us living our best life, choosing ourselves, we are their model, and they start to do the same. But not only that, is you will be able to help them better, be more attentive towards them, understand them better, be more connected towards them once you learned how to fill your own cup. And you can only do that by doing the things that make you happy, by choosing yourself, by doing what makes you happy at the end of the day. From there, you will give from your overflow, and your children will flourish. The thing is also something I had to decide for myself is, do I want my child to live in this situation where I know I'm not happy, where I know this relationship isn't good for me? Or do I want to give him a happy place, make life better for him, which is choosing myself and maybe being alone? And at the end of the day, that answered my question of, I feel like I can be a better mother once I don't have somebody in my life training me. So, and that's what I did. I chose me, and I chose the path of, it's okay if I'm a single mother, because at least my child will be happy. Not only my child will be happy, but I will be happy too. So it is about putting yourself first. It's about supporting yourself, and through that you can support your children. I feel like the worst thing you can do in this situation is trying to put your children's needs and happiness before your own. And I did that for a while, until I realized that this is draining me even more, which caused me to not being able to be emotionally connective towards my child, which was creating a distance between me and my child. And I feel like our children is a great opportunity for growth at the end of the day, because I feel like I noticed that if my child is doing things that I don't like, or he's maybe treating me a way that I don't like, or his behavior or just foul towards me, and I'm not happy with the relationship between us, I didn't go around blaming him. I went around and blamed me. What am I doing that's creating distance between me and my child at this stage? And I worked on that. I took accountability. I saw what I was doing wrong, where I took missteps, and I focused on fixing me. Fixing me? Can I say fixing me? Anyway, I worked on improving myself to become a better mother. And the thing about lessons is if you learn it the first time, those lessons stick with you. If you take accountability once for an action you did wrong, that stays with you. You can only grow and improve from that. So, yes, it's focusing on the relationship you have with your children, taking accountability, and the only person you can control at the end of the day is yourself and how you show up every day. And then let's move on to the second part of this question. It is and navigating the outside pressure, like his family's backlash. Okay, so I was in a situation where I received a lot of backlash. I was called many things. There was even emails sent about me. I was called probably every name underneath the sun. Basically, I received a a lot of backlash when I decided to leave my husband back then. And they were just like, it felt like they were like a war against me. Like, all of them, just suddenly they had an opinion and they had something to say, and they wanted to step on me, they wanted to break me. And my ex-mother-in-law even wanted to go to child law or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, so I was in a very horrible situation after I decided to leave my ex-husband, and his family was just showing up with their pitchforks, trying to burn me or crucify me, or I don't know what they wanted to do, but anyway, they wanted to do bad things to me. Or emotionally, let's say emotionally. But anyway, and I feel like my biggest mistake in that was I wanted to prove to them that I wasn't the person they made me out to be. I tried to fight back. I took everything personally. And there was a point where I got to fuck this, screw this, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm not going to allow people to disrespect me like they are disrespecting me. And I got to a point where I blocked everybody, because I feel like those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter, and they simply didn't matter to me. And I felt like, who are they anyway to feel like they have something to say? They are not a part of my life. They're not important in my life. So why should I take everything personal or believe everything that they have to say when that doesn't matter to me? They don't matter to me. And I feel like you are going to get that. Let them feel their emotions. Let them be angry. But let that be a reflection of them and not a reflection of you. You just stay on your course. You know what's best for you. Let them have their backlash. Let them say their things. Let them do their things, because they're going to do it anyway. One thing I live by is I respect people who respect me. I support the ones who support me, and I love the ones who love me. The rest, I just don't allow into my life. I don't allow them to have an opinion about me, because what other people have to say about you is none of your business anyway. Let them have to say. Let them do whatever they want. It is a reflection of them. It's not who you are. You know who you are. And if you keep choosing you, if you are on your own journey, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, and they don't need to know that. You don't need to prove yourself to anything or anyone who doesn't need that spot in your life anyway. So, yes, let them have their backlash. They're going to do it anyway. Don't let that stop you. Don't let anybody ever stand in your way, and never give anybody the power of thinking that they can break you, that they can have things to say, which is their opinion, but it doesn't define you at the end of the day. So I feel like that's how you will navigate the outside pressure, is by not letting it pressure you. It's not letting it get to you. Like, I feel like I want to use this example of a boat. Like, the water around the boat is the pressure. The only way for a boat to sink is when there's water inside of the boat. So don't let that outside pressure get inside. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it break you. And don't see this as an opportunity to become hard. See this as an opportunity of rising, of empowering yourself, of becoming a better person, of being the better person. The thing is, you're going to rise, and they're going to stay exactly where they are. And that's okay. That has nothing to do with you at the end of the day. So, yes, at the end of the day, I made that choice of not giving a shit what they say, what they do, or how they feel about me. And I feel like you should do the same, because it doesn't end well if you keep worrying about the things they have to say. And if you have to take that steps of blocking them, then you do that. If you have to take the steps of becoming the villain, then you do that. That's actually, oh yes, I want to talk about this. That's actually something I loved. Is they called me bad, and I was like, yeah, I am bad. I am the villain. I am narcissistic. I am everything you name me. What are you gonna do about it anyway? Like, I stopped giving their what's the word? I stopped giving their criticism power. So if they try to criticize me, I'm like, yeah, you're right, I am that. I can't help it. It's just in me. whatever. So I felt like that gave me that empowered me a lot of being like, yeah, so what? I'm the villain. If you feel like I'm the villain, then I'm the villain. Who cares what you think about me? Say that if you want to say that. Go tell the world that. I don't give a shit. Anyway, but I feel like getting to a point of not giving a shit. Yeah, that's that. Let's put it plain like that. It's stop caring of what other people will say about you. You don't need them. You only need yourself, and choose that. Yeah. And then question number 4 is, how do you support your children and navigate? Then the next question is number 5. What comes after? Like healing, therapy, even preparing for dating again. I know, I know there was a question from this listener asking, how do you stay in your, or how do you not go into your masculine energy? And I feel like this ties a lot to this question. What comes after? Healing, therapy, and even preparing for dating again. What comes after? Yes, healing. 100%. I would recommend healing. It is... The thing is, if you want to start dating somebody, like, you know, that phrase is like getting under somebody to get over somebody. No, it is not going to work. Don't do that. I know that... Okay, so women feel most connected to a man during sex because that's when we release the most amount of oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone. So if you leave your current relationship, you are going to have a void within you. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fill that void, and most of the times that's through sex. So it might work with one guy or it might work with 2 guys, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make you feel what you really want to feel, which is connected. So and even if you start dating immediately and you maybe go into like serious relationship, the probability of that relationship ending up the same is very big, because the only thing you're going to do is, if you haven't gone through the healing, is you are going to attract the same person or allow the same person into your life, which are the same as the previous one, just looks a bit different. Let me tell you why. If you are for a while within a relationship with somebody, your nervous system co-regulated with that person. So your nervous system feels familiar with this person. So the moment you start dating again, you are going to choose what feels familiar again, which means is you're going to choose the same person, but in a different body as your previous one. So the key is to change your nervous system to feel safe in a healthy relationship, with a healthy masculine in your life. So yes, do the healing first. Don't try to start dating directly after that. I know there's a lot of people who say that or have this belief that you will meet your Prince Charming, and I feel like Prince Charming is not going to be the next guy you date. That's my honest opinion, and I feel like it's going to take you a while to really get, if you are clear on what it is you want, it is going to take you a while to find that person who can give you exactly what you feel you deserve at the end of the day. So take the time to heal first, and then focus on dating. If you do feel like you want to go through that phase of just getting under somebody to get over somebody, it's still your life. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I do want you to be careful not to end up in the same situation or relationship you had previously. So definitely go to therapy, do your healing. I have amazing products on healing actually, or you can just send me questions again on how to go on your healing journey. But I feel like I have spoken to it in my previous video. Yes, I've spoken to it in my previous video about healing and just healing from the roots out, and then stepping into the best version of yourself. And yeah, I feel like that'll prepare you for dating. The thing is, what I feel is you are going to look for somebody. You are going to want to date immediately after, because nobody wants to be alone. We all want connection. We all want that person into our life. But if you can really get to that point of feeling like, I don't need somebody in my life, I will choose somebody in my life who is good for me, that's when you know you have reached that point. where you feel like somebody is meeting me halfway. Not somebody is like chasing me and love bombing me. Please be careful of that also, because that's how the toxic relationships start usually. So I just feel like be mindful of that and make sure that it is a halfway meet and that it's really meant for you at the end of the day. So yeah, my advice is to give yourself a break, heal after your relationship has ended, and then you start dating again. Or you don't even have to like go out and try to date. You can let it come to you. That's ultimately your choice. I feel like everybody's life looks different from the next, so I think it's following your heart and making sure that you don't end up in the same relationship you were before. But I'm also not carrying the baggage of your previous relationship into your next relationship, because that healthy person might come and then you might not be ready because you're carrying all this baggage from your previous relationship. Yes, there was a study done on, and I want to read the stats to you actually. It says if you're going through a big breakup, which is between 3 and 10 years, the healing should be between 6 to 12 months. If it's a mid breakup, like 9 months to 2 years, the healing time frame is 3 to 6 months. A mini breakup, that's basically less than 9 months, it is 1 to 3 months. And then a divorce can take up to 1.5 years or longer to heal. And I know they say that, time heals all wounds, but it doesn't. The amount of healing and effort you put into that time is what heals those wounds. So don't sit around and say, oh no, time heals all wounds, and then do nothing about it. I want you to actually do something about it and start healing from this breakup. And as you can see, it does take long. If you were like I was in a 9-year relationship, which says that it takes 6 to 12 months for healing, but I think it took me 3 years because I didn't start healing immediately after. I was just ready to move on and let it be. I thought I was okay until I realized that I wasn't okay. So yes, take the time, do the healing, and I feel like life will start working out for you. I want you to have hope in better. I want you to have hope in that bigger vision you create for yourself. I want you to believe in that you deserve more and that you are worthy of more at the end of the day. And yes, that is it for today. If you have any questions you would like to ask me, you are most welcome to leave them in the comment field. Or your alternative is to send me an email at hello@clarize.online. I also have like amazing products on my website, which goes around feminine energy, motherhood, depression, and relationships. If you want to go check out some of those, it's on my website, which is clarize.online. Okay, so I will see you there, or I will see you in one of my previous videos, or I will see you again next time. Thank you for staying till the end. Bye.